Many products come ashore through ports, but what about wind turbines? You and I have an insatiable appetite for electricity. Come with me and we'll look at the issues relative to wind farms and the communities that they serve. This is the Windfarm Guy. Hi, this is Dennis Stout, and thank you for joining me for this episode of the Windfarm Guy. The economic impact of wind farm components entering Texas through the ports of Corpus Christi, Galveston, Port Aransas, and Brownsville is significant. Texas has led U.S. wind energy production for 17 years or more, now producing over a quarter of the U.S. wind source electricity. Wind farm components, such as turbine blades, towers, and nacelles, are major project cargo for Texas ports, including Brownsville and Galveston, which dominate the trade along the Gulf Coast. The economic activity generated by Texas ports handling various cargoes, including wind components, is substantial. In 2022, Texas ports collectively contributed $449.6 billion annually to the state's economy through 616.2 million tons of cargo, with wind turbine components being a significant driver for Brownsville and Galveston. Let's look at the four ports individually. The Port of Brownsville. Wind turbine components are the largest single project cargo category. The port benefits from handling components imported from countries like India, South Korea, and Spain, as well as blades trucked in from nearby Nordex Acciona plant in Matamoros, Mexico. The port's handling of wind components supports numerous direct and indirect jobs. The port's $12 billion economic impact suggests thousands of jobs, with wind cargo as a key contributor. The Port of Galveston. In 2021, Galveston set a record by importing 3,172 turbine pieces weighing 212,000 tons, making wind cargo a top revenue and job generator. The port's strategic location, with access to Class 1 railroads and Interstate 45, supports efficient distribution across Texas and the Midwest, amplifying its economic contributions. Wind cargo is a major job generator, with the port's experienced labor force handling components from manufacturers like GE, Siemens Gamesa, and Vestas. The Port of Corpus Christi. While primarily known for energy exports like crude oil and liquid natural gas, Corpus Christi also handles wind turbine imports, contributing to its status as the third largest U.S. port by tonnage. The port's $350 million channel improvement plan enhances its capacity to accommodate larger vessels, indirectly supporting wind component logistics. Port Aransas. This port has limited wind component handling, but it still happens. I'm standing here in Port Aransas, and these blades were recently offloaded. But to be fair, its role in wind cargo is minimal compared to Brownsville and Galveston. The volume of wind farm components through Texas ports has grown significantly, reflecting Texas's dominance in wind energy. Texas ports are investing heavily. These improvements will enhance capacity for larger vessels carrying wind components. Brownsville and Galveston have seen steady increases in wind cargo since the early 2010s, driven by global supply chains and local manufacturing like Nordex Acciona facility in Matamoros. Corpus Christi's role has grown with channel improvements, though oil and gas still dominate. Port Aransas has not been a significant player, but has significant potential. The future for wind farm component imports through Texas ports is promising, driven by both onshore and offshore wind expansion. The rise in offshore wind interest suggests future volume increases. Texas is poised to become a leader in offshore wind, with high wind speeds off Corpus Christi and Port Arthur identified as prime sites. A single 600 megawatt offshore wind farm in the Gulf with a 2030 operation date could create 4,470 jobs and add $445 million to the GDP during construction, with Texas ports like Brownsville and Corpus Christi poised to benefit due to their proximity and offshore wind infrastructure development. Wind turbine components are high-value project cargo. For context, a single wind turbine, tower blades and nacelle, can cost $1 to $4 million each, depending on size and manufacturer. With Galveston handling 3,172 turbine pieces in 2021, representing hundreds of complete turbines, and Brownsville supporting many wind farms, the value of components likely reaches hundreds of millions of dollars annually per port. For example, if each turbine averages $2 million, 100 turbines would represent $200 million in cargo value. Texas's vast wind resources, favorable policies, and cost-efficient development continue to drive demand. The state's 150-plus wind farms are set to grow, supported by ports like Brownsville and Galveston. Advances in turbine technology and lower investment costs will sustain import volumes. Continued growth in wind energy could support tens of thousands of jobs by 2030, particularly in Brownsville and Corpus Christi, with offshore wind adding significant potential. The transition of oil and gas workers to wind-related roles like welding and marine operations will bolster this growth. If you like what I've said today, be sure and click like and subscribe below. If you have thoughts or want me to address a particular topic relative to wind farms, please also leave me a comment. The broader wind energy sector in Texas supports significant economic activity. Wind energy supports a substantial number of jobs in Texas, both directly at ports and indirectly through related industries like construction, manufacturing, and maintenance. Wind farm components through Texas ports, especially Brownsville and Galveston, drive billions in economic activity and support thousands of jobs, with values likely to be in the hundreds of millions annually. Volumes have grown steadily, and the future looks robust for offshore wind development, though challenges like costs, environmental concerns, and permitting persist. This is Dennis Stout, and I'm the Windfarm Guy. Thank you for watching. Working together, we can make good energy decisions and save our planet. I am the Windfarm Guy.